We have a few minutes now to discuss, and may I have Professor Chen coming back and joining us here to discuss and perhaps also answer your questions. What we are here for now today is discussing about the nexus, but it's also, and please have a seat here, is also to raise the question, what does it mean for global politics? The last slides you have shown us very clear point to that, and I could only wholeheartedly agree again with you, not including Taiwan in the work of the World Health Organization is in the first place a deficit for WHO. You have shown the excellence of leadership in health of Taiwan in research that has been done in multidisciplinary research from natural sciences, but also from other parts of sciences, from social sciences. And I have phrased it a little bit different. If you look into the development, please sit down. If you look into the development of health in Taiwan, what we see is you have built up a system in a very short time, which is a very strong system of universal health coverage. You have built up a system that has a very strong core in primary health care. That doesn't exist everywhere in the world. Actually, in most places of the world, it doesn't exist. You have been very strong in public health in Taiwan. You have shown excellent leadership in many of the public health initiatives, and we as the World Medical Association have called on you as expert for that. So, in other words, you are actually the best students of WHO and what they are asking for in providing healthcare and proper healthcare, and yet Taiwan is being excluded from that. And I think I wholeheartedly agree with you. This is ridiculous politics in an agency which actually should deal with health and not that much with politics. But unfortunately, it is the situation which we have. But let's come back to our presentations, which we have seen here in the presentation today in this first session. And I would like you to contribute, to ask questions if you have some. That should have now preference over my questions. So please, would you please tell us who you are and what your question or your comment is? Not yet.
Okay.
No, okay.
Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. I'm Dr. Chiang Guang and also a member of World Medical Association Junior Doctor Network, and may have chance to exchange experience with other country members. And I want to ask Professor Chen, earlier both of you discussed the comprehensive approach to cancer, right? So from prevention to treatment, emphasizing patient-centered package. And next year, it would be the NCD, non-communicable disease, including the cancer. It's a 2025 goal, 2025. It's aimed to decrease the chronic disease by 25%. It will be the United Nations high-level meeting. Yeah. However, various regions face unique challenges in meeting this target. I would like to ask what the difference in priority between resource-rich areas and resource-poor areas. Furthermore, how can we assist other countries in achieving their different goals?
Thank you very much. I think this is a very, very important question for our region, and I may express my view, and maybe President Su can comment as an expert later. Actually, last year, I'm a chemist, but I do understand the emergency of the cancer research and the new strategy. So last year, we discussed, for example, what are the cancer types we should work together first. So we have huge group of the medical doctors together with Dr. Chen Jianren, Yang Panci. We discuss the priority. So number one, the incidence of breast cancer and colon cancer are still increasing. There's no trend for the reduced mortality at all. So we, in addition to lung cancer, breast cancer, GI, and also the liver cancer are the top 4 priority. And secondly, we discussed what are the strategy we should have, because Taiwan has a very limited resource. And I will not go through the detail here, but we felt that the revisit on our payment reimbursement system should be the top priority, especially with a lot of new target therapy. And on the research end, we do feel that Taiwan already demonstrated in the case of lung cancer that shift to the early stage is very, very likely to happen from our view. So we would like to shift the target therapy, shift the diagnosis to the early stage. As the second issue, the resistance, I think maybe Dr. Tremble mentioned, we pay a lot of money for the patient, but eventually every patient develops resistance. So what are the next line of the therapy or treatment should be the next emerging topic. So these are the 2 directions that we want to do. And for some disease like gastric cancer, it's an excellent model that the prevention really, really works. In the case of Jingmen, right, the gastric cancer incidence reduced a lot. That's a great model. So we hope to have more this kind of model for other cancer type. Yeah. So, but again, this is my view. So, Situ.
Thank you.
President Situ, maybe he's really the expert. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your question. So I met Yiru in Taiwan quite often. So we are so proud of her research achievement. So I think I'm from National Health Research Institute, NHI, from Taiwan. So the NHI in Taiwan, it's supported by our government, mainly by Ministry of Health and Welfare. So it's similar to the NIH in United States. So in past 20 years, for example, for the infectious disease in South Asia, we have collaborated with some other countries such as Vietnam and Thailand. So we set up the international networking to share about the infectious disease information. So we do promote some vaccine program, for example, for the EV71 vaccine. So we actually done the phase 3 clinical trial in Vietnam. So it's another example we can set up, the international networking between Taiwan and the other country to prevent the infectious disease, particularly in South Asia area. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any other questions from you? Please don't be shy. Mr. Lin?
I have a question for Professor Kinnan. You mentioned to us about Taiwan is 1/3 of 3 different cultures, and you make an example of one of our. I'd like to use from your words. You're talking about our Vice President, Bikin Xiao. She's a good example. Could you talk more about this?
Okay. Yeah, nothing with the politics here. I know her for many years. We discussed for the last at least 10 years or so. And she is an example. Personal life is an example of the 3 cultures. She was born in Japan. She's Chinese. She's a Taiwanese family. Her mother from United States. So she 1/3 of each of these cultures. So one person symbolizes the 3 cultures that make the mix of those make Taiwan so unique. And that's really, in my view, I didn't have time to show it. In my view, Taiwan, on the global statistics of democracies, Taiwan is number 10. But this, in my view, Taiwan is number 1 before the Scandinavians. And I can defend my theory, okay? So we can talk about this. I don't want to take the time for that, but it's all coming to this mixture of cultures, and Taiwan is so diverse in the cultural term, pretty much like my home country, probably the most diverse in the world. I mean, Israel has people from 70 different countries. Okay, so we have many cultures. But this is the secret. I mean, the diversity is the secret for the prosperity that we see, and why Taiwan is so innovative and so prosperous. And the future of Taiwan is something that is going to be much brighter than we see today. That's my view. If the world recognizes this, I mean, not the world already recognized. If world organizations like United Nations, various United Nations organizations, if they recognize this or they do not recognize it, it's their problem, of course. It's not the problem of Taiwan. So I think this is sort of in a nutshell what I think about this. But of course, we can talk about this later, and I invite everybody to write me or call me or discuss it further. So, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we close, I would not like to leave you without the one question which I also answered already our first speaker, because we are here in a parallel session to the World Health Assembly. From your positions as scientists, involved very much in the development of healthcare from a scientific point of view, what would be your wish to this world community gathering here in Geneva, the politicians who are coming together here, in charge for healthcare systems, but also for the science of health and the development of health? What would be your wish to them? Professor Chen first.
I think compared to the Western population, Taiwan is representative of the East Asia cohort. But compared to other Asian countries, Taiwan, like, we have the liberty, we have so much freedom, and more importantly, the high quality of the research and the medical care. So I want to tell the whole world that Taiwan is a great place for clinical research, for clinical trials, and we are open to the world. And we hope that we can work together. Instead of Eastern or Western population, it's only a word for cancers.
Thank you. And your message?
My message is not related to the reason we are all here. I think it is less important. And I spoke with the previous premier of the government of Taiwan 4 months ago. I think the most urgent and important policy for Taiwan is a pro-natalist policy. Extremely urgent. Taiwan is now 24 million people. If Taiwan does not do anything, the prediction is that by the end of the century, Taiwan will be 16 million. 16 million. That will be will have a devastating effect of the status of Taiwan in the world. And a pro-natalist policy is a matter of urgency, more important than everything else. All Asian countries go down. China, now 1.4, they will be 730 million by the end of the century, half of what they are now. Japan, the same thing. North Korea, South Korea, the same thing, and others. They cannot do anything about this, but Taiwan can do, because the people of Taiwan they trust the government, and they are happy people. So I think it's extremely important for the government, as goal number one, to increase or enhance the pro-natalist policy, having young children, encourage them by any means to get married, have more children. Extremely, extremely important. Other than that, you see, Israel now is 10 million. When I was born, Israel was 500,000. Okay, it went 20-fold. 10 million by now. By the end of the century, Israel will be 18 million, bigger than Taiwan. It sounds crazy. So you have to do something about that, urgently, I mean today.
Thank you very much. I think we have heard very interesting talks on the science of medicine and how it reflects into global policy, but also the development of our societies in the future. I think we have also heard a very pronounced perspective, which is very different from very of the political scenarios which we very often heard. And I think it was necessary to hear this to give us also a little bit of a hopeful perspective that we actually can produce change. And that is something that we should continue to do. And I like also your pitch on this logo, which says Taiwan can help. Yes, Taiwan helps the world. Thank you very much. It's time for lunch.
Thank you all very much. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.